This is from the field. I'm Carlos Montero. I'm here in front of the beautiful Azteca Stadium, Estadio de la Ciudad de Mexico. That's the way FIFA call it. I want to tell you this is a show that we want you participate. You have to be part of our show. There are different ways. You can be in contact with us through social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. But on Twitter today, we're asking you a question. We would like to know, where are you going to watch the World Cup? Are you going to watch it from home? Are you going to watch it from a bar with have to work? Many people have to work. Tomorrow is a Thursday. Are you going to watch from are you going to watch for school if you are too young or you are a student at university? We are going to read your answers at the end of this program. Gianni Infantino, the president of FIFA, gave today, just a few minutes ago, a press conference where he tried to clarify different situations, different concerns the journalists, we have about this World Cup that for the first time is going to be hosted by 3 countries. Oscar Arrieta. Oscar was there in the press conference. Oscar is with us right now live. Oscar, what's the most important that Gianni Infantino said this afternoon?
At the media center, this Mexico City Stadium, the mighty Estadio Azteca, we said to become the very first stadium in all the world to host a 3rd World Cup. And this very venue, Gianni Infantino set up a press conference, the last press conference before the kickoff of this historic FIFA World Cup 2026. And he talked about various special themes. He was happy because of this great World Cup. We said to be the biggest one yet in history. 48 teams will be playing in 3 different countries. Mexico, Canada, and United States will host this unique World Cup with this 2026 event, and is said to become the biggest of them all in all the history. Also, he spoke all the teams like the referees, the participation of Iran, who is the base camp, moved from the United States to Tijuana, Mexico, and will only travel to the United States on their game days. This is a once-in-a-lifetime situation from Iran. They will be training at Tijuana and will be playing at Los Angeles, but they will need to travel on the very 24 hours of their games. They will not be passing the night on U.S. soil. They will need to travel back to Tijuana and sleep in Mexico as their base camp. All these situations were talked from the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino. Also, a few minutes ago, a press conference was held between the managers of Mexico, Javier Aguirre, and Hugo Bros from South Africa. The South African side put a little bit of pressure on Mexico, setting the tone for this inaugural game on the next June 11, talking and speaking about Mexico being the favorite team on the Group A. Their counterpart, Mexico, sealed the way, and Javier Aguirre talked to the press and told that Mexico will win tomorrow, but they respect South African side. And aside from not speaking right now for the starting 11 to their players, he is confident that all his coaching side know well the starting 11 that will be playing tomorrow. When we are on the verge to watch history, as Memo Ochoa will be the very first player in history to play in 6 World Cups. He debuted as the 3rd goalkeeper of Mexico in Germany 2006, and now 20 years at the Mexico, Canada, and United States World Cup 2026, is set to become the very first player to play a 6th World Cup. Tomorrow will be an historic day, just not for football, but the whole Mexico City and the whole Mexico country, as the country to host a 3rd World Cup.
Oscar, going back to Ochoa, the question that everybody is asking here in Mexico, I was talking to people on the street. Let's say that the coach said, no, we don't want Ochoa to be the starter. he's going to be on the bench. If Ochoa is on the bench, he should be the captain of the Mexican team, or they put another player?
So has played become the starting goalkeeper for Mexico. But you know, in a scenario like this, the inaugural game of our FIFA World Cup, you have on the bench one of the few guys in history that have played in 5 World Cups. Maybe that's the thing that is switching the tone in this conversation. You have in one hand Ala Rangel, who is one of the very best goalkeepers on the whole Mexican First Division, the Liga MX, and on the other hand, you have an historic, not just for Mexico, but an historic World Cup keeper as Guillermo Ochoa on the bench. So that is switching up the tone a little bit on the conversation between Guillermo Ochoa or Tala Rangel being the starting 11. Even the people, the Mexican fans, in all his career has been like very rude to Guillermo Ochoa. But right now, and as it stands, very of these fans are switching up and are giving the vote of confidence to one of the Mexicans' very own, Guillermo Ochoa. So as it stands, nobody knows who will be the starting goalkeeper. But what we have viewed on the last friendlies, Tala Rangel is set to become the starting goalkeeper at this FIFA World Cup. But you can keep the eye off Guillermo Ochoa on the bench.
I'm not the coach. I don't know the strategy, but tomorrow I think is going to be the weakest game of the 3. Czech Republic, Korean Republic is going to be more tougher games. If he wants to put it to start the game, tomorrow is the day. I think South Africa is the weakest team of the 3. But let's see what's happened. The coach is going to decide, and it's almost less than 24 hours to the match, and we don't know that yet. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Oscar Arrieta, from the media center in the Azteca Stadium, that you can see that in my back. Very important stadium, has a lot of memories for the Argentine people. Here, 1986, Argentina became champion. You remember the pictures, went all over the world. Diego Armando Maradona holding the trophy. 2 games before, in the same stadium, Diego, Argentina, playing against England. It was when Diego scored the goal with the hands of God, very important. 1970, Pelé was the one who became champion with Brazil. Let's see who's going to win tomorrow that important game. But let's do a brief story about this legendary stadium, one of the most important, I think, of the whole tournament that's going to be played in 3 countries.
The story began in 1930 in Montevideo, Uruguay. The Centenario Stadium, also known as the Concrete Colossus, was built for the occasion and, together with Los Positos and the large Central Park, brought vitality to a tournament that would grow in infrastructure, matches, and teams over the years. 20 years later, in 2015, Brazil hosted its first World Cup, with the Maracanã Stadium serving as the venue for both the opening and closing ceremonies, and also witnessing the pain of a devastating defeat in the final for Brazil. They hosted the tournament once more in 2014, across 12 stadiums, but still couldn't lift the trophy in front of their home crowd. Chile won the bid to host the 1962 tournament, with the main focus on the National Stadium, which hosted 10 of the 32 matches. But the turning point towards the Americas definitely occurred in 1970, when the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City hosted both the opening and closing matches for the first time, with a victory for Brazil and the last Jules Rimet trophy lifted by Pelé. It was at the Azteca Stadium itself that the second World Cup final would take place in 1986, along with that unforgettable highlight, the goal of the century scored by Diego Armando Maradona against England.
Ahí lo tiene Maradona, lo marcan 2, pisa la pelota Maradona, arranca por la derecha el genio del fútbol mundial, y es el tercer y a tocar para Borruchaga, siempre Maradona, genio,
The Golden Boy himself received every possible honor and award and led the Albiceleste team to its second Golden Triumph after winning in 1978, when they hosted the tournament in the Monumental Stadium dressed in its finest. In 1994, the US hosted the World Cup, which was held across 10 stadiums. In 2026, we will see another World Cup in the Americas, with the distinction that this time it will be shared between Mexico, the US, and Canada. Canada will be the 20th country in the world to host the most watched sporting event on the planet. But give credit where credit is due. The Azteca Stadium is the greatest sanctuary not only of football in the Americas, but also of World Cup history.
I was listening to Victor Hugo Morales. I mean, it's amazing when Maradona scored the goal. We are going to have a very big coverage on here at TeleSur. Victor Hugo Morales is going to have a show, La Pelota No Se Mancha, with the Argentine journalist Alexis S. Let's go to your comments. Where are you going to see the World Cup? 40% of the people who participate, they're going to be at home. Great, you are lucky to be at home tomorrow. Other 40% not so lucky, but I hope you have a nice boss who let you watch the game. 40%, and 20% they're going to be with friends. I guess they're going to go to a party with other friends. That's all for today. See you tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. Take it easy. Bye-bye.